Michael. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Lizzie. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. I greatly appreciate it. I don't know. It's been quite a fucking road that we've known each other for the last, I think, 4 years now.
Yeah.
And I met you at Ritz right after you were, I think it was like 1 or 2 years after you were done being a resident. And now look at you. Now you're fucking here, man.
Yeah. I thought you knew me when I was at Ritz.
No. I didn't even go to the old amp before it burnt down. So I caught you when I was still like 18, 19 when I would go and you were just a resident. And everybody would go for Blunts and Blondes and all the little bartenders would wear your shirts and they'd all be like, yeah, we love Michael, X, Y, and Z. And then I met you when I played with Crisley, when I just started being a resident.
Oh, word?
Like 3 years ago. It's been quite some time.
Yeah, I liked you as a resident. You're fun.
Yeah, it's we'll get into that a little bit later, but it's definitely something that I think has helped me substantially, and you can attest to that as well. The whole team there is a great team, supportive team, and yeah. But for everyone listening, if you are not familiar with this wonderful human, dear friend of mine, Michael Gard, also known as Blunts and Blondes, if you like electronic music, you listen to bass music, especially if you're in the state of Florida, you know this man sells out all of his tour stops, and it's just been a wild ride watching you.
About like 85% on my tour stops.
About like 85%. I mean, give or take a few. The last time you were on the road consistently was like your last tour, right? Was Subdocta?
Yeah, Subdocta and Baldy.
Yeah.
It's the Hotbox tour.
And that was your second bus tour.
That was my second bus tour. That was like my first headlining tour was that one. And then the one before that was the Up and Smoke with Jesse.
Yeah. I feel like that was a big moment for your kind of like just journey, because it was like, I feel like when you started on that tour, I don't know, like how did you feel? Was it like scary as fuck? Were you
I was
like,
fucking scared. I was scared as shit. Subtronics is really intense.
Yeah.
And he's somebody I look up to. So
Oh, absolutely.
it was just like it was cool to be put in that position, but it was also pretty like intense and scary to be like, yo, I gotta show out every night, or else like he's gonna see. Like it sucked when you like crash in front of your fans and like you train wreck in front of your fans, but when you train wreck in front of your like people you look up to and shit, your heroes, that shit's weird.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, and I think that's something that sometimes like just people who attend music festivals and just like fans in general don't get, because like I easily can get in front of like a crowd of thousands of people and like fucking just go for it. But if there's somebody that I know that is like an inspiration of mine and I'm all fucking nervous and then I fuck up, you're like, God fucking damn it.
Yeah, it sucks. But you get on with it and you finish the set.
For sure. I mean, I just feel like it was probably just this huge like learning experience for you, and like
for sure he like he was very helpful with anything I ever needed. He helped me like get through my nerves, and my team was great. My bus driver was dope, Steven, and then Max, he was my TM. Everybody was super dope team. Lex was on the road with us, and the whole team was just vibing really well. It was super cool, and it was a really big learning experience. It was my first time away from home, like a lot, touring. Like I've been away from home, but like being drunk every day.
Yeah.
It was my first time. Just being on tour, like I didn't realize, like I thought I was being conservative with like my like getting turned upness compared to like my like sober life, I guess. Bruh, that shit's so hard. I was so turned up all the time.
Is it really just like that kind of like rock star lifestyle where it's just like everything that you could ever dream of is right in front of you?
For sure. Yeah, it's like, I mean, we're not like, we're not like, pop stars or nothing. We don't have those crazy, we don't have buses on buses and entourages and stuff, but like we have everything we ever want. Like we have all the weed we want. We have like, we're playing shows and having a great time every day. And you're with your homies, you're eating good food, seeing different places. It's an experience that I'm very humbled and blessed to experience, because I know not everybody's going to be able to do that, but it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And if you have the chance to do it, I think you should.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely a dream to do something like that one day, because it's very different. Because before you went on to that tour with Zaya and Jesse, you had really just only been like traveling on the weekends, correct? And just kind of like Thursday through Saturdays. It's so much different doing that and being home the majority of the week, or even because, you know, you can be somewhere for less than 12 hours before you're on a flight back home. So it's almost like you didn't even leave. You just like went 2 hours away and came back.
Yeah.
But like on the bus, like you don't come home.
Yeah, for sure. It was like the first time I felt like it was my job. It was like my life. It was like back at home when I was a resident, it felt like a job sometimes because like, you know, going into the same club, same shit every day. I mean, I'm not a resident anymore. I don't have to sugarcoat it. It fucking sometimes it's really hard to do that every single week and play to the same crowd every week and still make them happy every week when you don't. When you're trying to do other things with your life and artists and shit, and you're like it's hard. But when you're on the road, and it's like you're just. I was just blunts and blondes. Like I didn't have any other responsibilities ever, like at all. When I was on the road, it was like I did that 24/7, 100%, and it was really nice to be able to focus on that. But it was really hard to come home too.
Yeah.
Like it was when I got home, it was such a weird adjustment, and like I don't know if I was depressed, but like I was just like I had no.
You just felt like stuck.
I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I didn't want to play video games even.
Really?
Which sucked.
That's
I like video games.
What's some of your favorite video games?
We're gonna go there.
Oh, we're gonna go there. I'll circle back on that whole coming back from tour thing, but yeah, I actually would love, because I just started to play Nintendo Switch. I'm just learning. I could probably beat your ass in Super Smash Bros.
All right.
We may have to do that on round 2. But what do you like to play?
So, I used to play Nintendo, right? When I was a child.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what Wes tells me, that I'm a child.
Yeah,
that I play Nintendo.
I mean, Smash is timeless, right? For sure. You can play Smash till you die. It's going to be great. But, like, you know, people are going to get mad at that, but whatever. Nintendo fell off. I play, like, Tarkov right now. I don't play a lot of video games anymore because I've been trying to make, you know, music a lot and work on this album.
Yep.
But when I do play video games, I play a lot of Tarkov. I played Call of Duty sometimes with the boys. That was the game growing up. But I play, you know, I jump on every now and then with the squad, play some, you know, Warzone or some shit.
Well, that's what I notice a lot is like everybody in Discord and all that shit, like all the artists play together. And that's how I've like talked to some of my homies, and they've been like, yeah, like this is how I met this guy, by like streaming COD with them or playing like other shit. And I don't know, did you ever kind of meet some of like your aspirations and like
for sure
video games?
So I talk a lot of shit when I play video games, and I can back it up sometimes, but you can always guarantee I'm gonna talk shit.
Yeah.
And but people love that, so it got me into a lot of parties and like got people laughing and stuff, and I met a lot of people through that. I got to me and my boy Benda, actually, like we didn't really know each other that well. We just knew like each other's music and through shows. And then we started playing Call of Duty together every now and then.
Yeah.
And then we became good homies. That's a little, I guess that's like the dubstep friend I know, but just the squad, the yo-yo gang, fucking since like, you know, forever.
Yeah.
Is, you know, my boy Kevin Flum, Bilo, you know, Plasma, all them. Sunday Service, they don't even make music no more, but yep, they play some goddamn video games for real. Squad. If you want that smoke, hit us up. But
well, okay, so that going from someone who I know you used to play video games a shit ton to coming home from tour and just like feeling like there's like no purpose in like what you're doing on like a day-to-day, I feel like that was how a lot of people felt, especially people in your shoes that have been like touring for the last like 5 to 6 years. And when they stopped, when fucking COVID started, even for those first few months, it's like we don't understand that we have an addiction to like being on stage.
Yeah.
And like the energy that we feel from people. Because when you take that like out of your life, and I can't even imagine going on a 2-3 month tour, feeling that every other day, if not for 4 or 5 days in a row, and then it being like, okay, like back to your normal life, like go get shit done. I don't know, was it just like a really rough patch? How did you get over it?
Yeah, it was rough. When I came back, I was torn to what I wanted to do. I was like, yeah, I need to freaking move out of Tampa. I need to move out of Florida. I need to like be around music 24/7, like da da da. But I took some time to chill and think about it and talk to my boys. And I really just needed my friends.
Yeah.
Like, just like my friends bring me back down to like normal and shit. Because being blunts and blondes is cool, but being blunts and blondes all the time is really unhealthy for me and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was nice to be able to, like, I still live with my roommate Taylor, who like we lived together since college, but he brings me down all the time, and just being able to talk to somebody who's not really in the industry as much. He's a resident around Tampa and plays house music, but like just doesn't really, and not really bass music shit, or like not really touring. Helps me stay level, which is cool, and that helped me. He just helps me through everything. So just having a homie really helped me.
That's fucking dope. I feel like it's really easy in our field because this is like all of our dreams, and like not a lot of people get the opportunity to work their passion as a career and actually make a fucking living from it. So it's like it's so easy for us to lose perspective that this is a job and it's not like your whole life. And having that like side thing, like whether it's disc golf, like your friends, like your girlfriend, your boyfriend, is like so important, because I feel like I could see myself doing it, and I watch other people just get lost, and then they just like don't even know who they are anymore.
For sure. I've seen a lot of my friends, you know, especially in bass music, kind of, because it's hard to, if you make music, especially electronic music, it's hard to put, I don't know how to explain this. Electronic music to me, EDM or something, like basically this rave music that we're doing nowadays, it's very hard to make it timeless. People remember these songs for maybe a year tops, and then somebody makes something more crazy, and then people forget about it. And I speaking for myself, I like, so one thing I struggle with the most in my music is like I want to make music that people can party to and people can have a good time at the shows and rave to, but like I also want to make music that I care about and I can, you know, express my feelings and what I'm thinking about or whatever I'm doing at the time through that music. And to find that balance is really hard. And I think for us making this type of music, it's hard to continue doing it and like continue trying to like not making music, but it's when we make rave music, dance music every day, it starts to feel like a job.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yep.
It's important to switch it up.
And it's also hard when we're in an industry where everyone wants you to have your own sound, and then when you have that sound, you're not allowed to leave that sound and leave that pocket.
Yeah.
And I feel like people like Getter and like his Visceral project were kind of at the forefront of like a total sacrifice for, hey, if you're going to like this artist, you need to accept where they're going to grow to and where they're going to mature to, because I think an artist staying the same and sounding stagnant ultimately is just like not good for anyone. And usually the artist wants to try different things and experiment and like work with vocalists or like go to like pop music or rap music or R&B. And it's like we hone so many skills as engineers that can be utilized in like other genres, even to like a better value than in dubstep and in bass music. And
For
it's
sure.
like you should still be, if you're a supporter of someone, like you should be a supporter of them doing different shit.
I think you should be a supporter of them doing different shit, but like I think there's a huge misunderstanding and lie. Like you can not, like, there is songs that you cannot like. You're allowed to not like anything you want, but like you can still fuck with the person. You can still fuck with the artist and like realize like we're all on a journey. And if you like an artist, you fuck with an artist, like realize and like think about why you like that artist, and you realize that you like a lot of the artists that I like and I really love is because it was very, I could see the progression. I could see how they grew as a person, or in the art, the music grew, whether their music was bad and got good or whether it was good and got better. It was really cool to see. And like, I think that's when people like say you have, you know, you like this artist and they come out with an album or an EP that's just like really different. You're like, all right, they fell off. Fuck that. Never listen to again. That's just like one little corner of their brain they're just trying to show you. Like they still have the other shit that you like in there. And it sucks to see it so polarized.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it is just all opinion biased, and that's why it's like it's important to see what like your consumers think and your listeners think, but at the end of the day it's like you should be doing it for you. And I really like looking at progression too, and it's like I may not necessarily like techno or like this kind of style or genre of music, but when I see somebody work their fucking ass off and you see them start to get recognized for it, and you see people start to be like, oh, like, you know what's up, they're like kind of not becoming the underdog anymore, you're like, fuck yeah, like you're just happy for them, because every artist can relate to how hard it is to continue to kind of level up and move forward in like their career.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. It's
what are some artists that you like that have that progression?
I would say, look at that. You're interviewing me now.
I mean, I have one.
I'm about to ask you too. I would say a lot of the shit, and you can talk about this as well, like a lot of the shit that we've heard during quarantine is way different than what we were used to pre-quarantine. When you get into that like experimental shit or like the melodic future rhythm stuff, and it's like I personally have loved to see this like subgenre of melodic rhythm and like color-based shit kind of come to the forefront, because it's not club bangers, it's like re-listenable dubstep.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like I mean, I don't know, not like re-listenable. I guess it would be easier to listen to not in a club context. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I when I make music, I like have to, I try to think about the end game,
Yeah.
And a lot of what I was making back when we were playing shows all the time was like, how crazy can I make this switch up, or how crazy can I make this like wow factor. But now I'm like, okay, these people are listening to my music in the car now, and they're listening to my music at home, like, doing laundry or in their headphones or something.
So different.
And it's a different game. It gets you in a different mindset, which is cool, because I think people are going to bring that to the stage this year too.
I do too. And like, I know the same heavy hitters will stay heavy, but I think it's going to be so sick, because not this year, but like next festival season, I think we're going to see a shit ton of new people. And it's going to just expand. Like every genre has to grow. Like every piece of technology, everything in life, like it eventually evolves to something else.
Yeah.
And like this is something that I feel like quarantine has caused, like the evolution of electronic music to be pushed forward a little bit faster than it would have been if people were just, and I'm looking at like bass music specifically, because you have to say, yeah, like as an up and coming DJ, guess the music that I'm making the music to send to you for you to play it on the stage at Lost Land, so I can get a video to say, hey guys, Blunts and Blondes supported me.
Yeah.
I'm not making music to say, damn, I really want someone who's feeling down, feeling like fuck this, to listen to this in their room or in the car and like want to know the lyrics, and they memorize them and they listen to it over and over and over again anytime they feel this way. And I feel like this is what has come out of quarantine in a little bit.
That's a cool way of looking at things.
Because it's like now, like when you write, and like I was talking to Dr. Ozzy the other day, and he's like, when I used to sit down and write, it was like, okay, am I writing this for a club, for a fucking mosh pit? Or am I writing this to be a bit more melodic and try and push my listeners and try and do some shit that they may not like? And it's like when you sit down and write beforehand, it's like, yeah, like what can I make that's going to make the fucking crowd bop? All of that shit. And now, like, where are you kind of at when you're working on music? I
don't really... So when I wake up and make tunes, or I get like, just on the computer and make tunes, okay, go to the studio, whatever, and I'll always just start making beats, just making like rap beats, and like just like playing melodies, playing with samples, just whatever, and then I'll make like as many as I can, really, and then so I'll have like 10 or 20 for that, like 3 days I'm making rap beats, and then I'll take all those and pick my favorite and be like, okay, what can I turn into? Because I'll finish all the rap beats, because I'll send them off for placements.
Yeah.
And then if that's just a different part of my career. Yeah. But I'll take all those beats and I'll be okay, which ones can I turn into dubstep tunes? Okay. And then I'll just like go through the beats, pick my favorites, or pick whatever I think is like, bass music ready, and then I'll make it into a bass music tune, and I'll go from there.
So you're the kind of person where it's like, I'm going to make 100 of something and 10 are going to stick, and these are the 10 that I'm going to see, or do you bring all of your ideas like eventually to life?
No, never.
Okay.
Yeah. If I brought all my ideas to life, I don't know what would happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's for everybody.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's for everyone. I save like a bunch of my old projects and I'll go back sometimes
Yeah.
and like filter through and all that stuff.
I think it's cool to save everything, but
I do
definitely
too.
don't put everything out.
No, I definitely agree with that. What you were saying with placements. So, aside of you doing Blunts and Blondes, explain to me this other like realm that you've entered. Where is this how you ended up working with Wiz Khalifa and DJ Afterthought? Through these placements, or was this through more of the electronic route? Explain this to me, because I'm really curious.
Okay, well, it's a good story, a long story, but it's good.
It's okay, we have time.
Yeah. So I played a show. I was on tour with COD Dubs a while ago, and the promoter double booked the venue, and it was our show and a Riff Raff show.
Oh shit.
And they're like, "Yo, is it cool if you cut your show in half and then Riff Raff come on, and then you guys can finish your show after the Riff Raff show?" I was like, "Whatever. Sure, I'm trying to see Riff Raff." Yeah. And then so Riff Raff came and everything, but he was like, he told his DJ, which is DJ Afterthought, that he was like, "Yo, you can't chill in the green room for some reason." So I was like, "Yo, come to our green room and just chill and wait till the show's over or whatever."
God, that's a dick move.
Yeah.
Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
he's a whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we just became friends and everything, and then we just, you know, kept communication and stuff. And then one day he called me up. He was like, "Yo, are you trying to like get on this Wiz verse or whatever?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then we recorded it. And then it was, I sent him over. It took a while, but then we got it done. And they're like, "Yo, this is good." And then they re-recorded it to like make it sound better, I guess. Mm-hmm. I guess because the verse was old or something. So they re-recorded the verse. Okay. And then got the thing done. And that's basically how I started working with them. And then after that, me and Afterthought guy, his name's Ryan. Me and Ryan got really close. Then I went out to California with them for a vacation and to work on some music. And then they linked me up with Ricky and the Ricky P and Taylor Gang guys. And then yeah, he's just been ever since then. Ever since I started working with them, I just, you know, he put me in front of so many people, and I made sure that I was gonna, you know, take that opportunity. And I made sure everybody remembered my name. I gave everybody my email. I made sure I gave everybody beats. I just met so many people, and then that week kind of like started everything for me, because I started working with people, and then people started talking about me to other people, because I was very hands-on. I was like, "Yo, like if anybody needs any work, let them know, I'll do it." And I just wanted to work for anybody in that industry, just to like branch out a little bit. And ever since then, it's just been awesome. It's just been like more and more things have been happening, and now I'm able to bring a little bit of that industry into the Blunts and Blondes stuff, because like now the album that I'm working on, it's all features, and it's just like, it's gonna be great.
Yes, that's fucking wild, dude. Mm-hmm. What a like right place, right time kind of moment.
It was super cool.
Yeah, like I don't really believe in like higher powers, but I do believe there's like this energy where it's like that kind of stuff in my mind doesn't happen without it like meaning to happen. Yeah, which is just so wild, because it's like, I know you're so passionate about that industry in general. I want to talk about the album in a little bit, but when you're stepping into this other industry, are people just mad different? Is it a totally different environment?
Yeah, for sure. They look at music differently. We're just like, yo, if I have fucking blunts on my lip, tell me. God damn, I can't.
I don't think so.
She's making me look stupid out here.
No.
But,
I will.
Yeah, they're a lot different. They're like, it's not like nothing bad or anything. It's just they make a lot more money than we do.
Oh, yeah.
So their time is worth a little bit more. So they don't have to work with us. Yeah. You have to make yourself very valuable in order to get into those rooms with those people. And once you're in those rooms, don't fuck up. Like, I was in a room with Ricky and the Taylor Gang guys, and I was in the back seat in this big studio, just like on my computer, rolling a little blunt, shaking and freaking out. And then everybody was just bumping, listening to beats, and he turns to me and goes like, "Yo, plug in." I was just like, "Fuck." And then I couldn't say no. No. Yeah, so I had to go do that. And then I started playing beats, and that's how you have to do it. If you get opportunities, you gotta take it. And like, I think it's easy to take the opportunity. It's hard to be prepared for it. So
Yeah.
like, you have to, if you're really trying to do this. And I think quarantine, like she said, has like, there's so many producers out here now, and there's gonna be so many opportunities for everybody to like take this by the horn and like really do this. And
Yeah.
if there's gonna be opportunities presented to you all the time, and if you're ready to go, crazy things can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like a great saying just in general that you can really apply to, because I can't even imagine how many fucking aspiring producers there are in that genre, looking at how many aspiring producers there are just in like the bass genre here. Like there's so fucking many, and it's like, it's exactly that. Like everybody wants a spot in the room that doesn't really exist anymore, but like everyone wants a spot and they want the opportunity, and the opportunity comes more than you would think, but not that many people are prepared.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's where it comes to a point where it's like, I feel like I could just work all day every day and there would still be more work to do.
For sure.
And it's like, you have to set that boundary, because if you do that, you burn out. And I feel like it's easy for us to get like lost in our work because we don't consider it work, you know? It's just like, it does sometimes feel like fucking job, but on the other side of it, sometimes you just get lost in it and you're there for like 12 hours and you like, it feels like nothing.
It feels like there's definitely, like, I think it's a job isn't a good name for it, but like occupation, because like,
Yeah.
I definitely think of it as my job. It is my way of making money, but it's also my purpose, you know?
Yeah.
It's just the way that I feel like I'm contributing to the world, because that's like a big, I don't know why it's a big thing for me, but in my head, I feel like every person is supposed to contribute something to the world, you know?
Absolutely. And I think people often lose their purpose by a certain age. It's like, I don't feel like you'll see it quite yet in like mid-20s, but I feel like there's this switch in like your late 20s, early 30s where I just see people like give up. And then they're just complacent as an adult, and you stop pushing forward and you stop pushing for something further because that's how you feel uncomfortable. And then you were talking about on your bus tour, you must have been really uncomfortable pushing for that.
Yeah. And I was surprised, and I'm sure a lot of people are, on the ability for humans to like, we're so scared, and then we put ourselves in the situation and we realize that we can perform. We're like ready for it. And a lot of the times it's like the self-doubt. It's like my worst.
Self-doubt kills you.
Yeah, it's the worst thing in the world. But it stops a lot of people from doing a lot of things. But if you put yourself in that situation and you prove to yourself, you're like, oh shit, like I am ready. But again, that's preparation. Like the only way you feel ready is with preparation.
The only way you feel ready is with preparation, with over preparation. It's like that kind of, oh, like you got lucky. It's like, no, because you worked to the 98% mark and then you got 2% luck. Yeah. And it's just, that's what it is. And it's like in your mind, you may either always feel like you're ready or never feel like you're ready. But I just feel like over preparing and just like over like prepping your like mind for whatever situation you're about to go into is the only way to like get through and get to the other side.
For real. It's weird. Know? I never feel like I am ready. But in the back of my head, I always know I'm going to be all right. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like every single show, I still get the jitters. Yeah. I still, I have to take, 10 minutes and, like, stare at a wall and get all pumped up like LeBron or something. And, like, I cannot play a show if I don't do that. But every single show, even if my fucking USB is corrupt or something, like, it's fine. We got more USBs. You know what I mean? It's cool.
Dude, the extra USB saves lives.
The extra 4 USBs save lives.
Yeah.
Using
Everyone
your boy's USB
note.
save lives. Using your friend, anybody's USB, the opener's USB. Stealing the opener's USB out of his pocket without him even knowing, and then putting all your music on it before your show, and then putting it in your pocket. So he messes up, and then you don't look bad for not having your music. That saves lives.
So...
That never happened.
So I was about to say, Michael, tell me about the situation where he grabbed an opener's USB and corrupted his set.
No, the last USB, that doesn't happen to me a lot. The USB thing doesn't happen. But the last one that happened to me was actually this Park and Rave one, this last one. And both my USBs corrupted right when I plugged them in. And I looked at Hesh and I was like, yo, I need your USB. and he gave it to me, and I put all my music on it, and it was cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
But all my USBs corrupted. I guess it was like I didn't update Rekordbox in a long time.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I have like fears
It was scary.
of like going to like a huge set and like the USB being corrupted. But like, yeah, this isn't a note for the up and comers. Dude, like make 4 copies of your USB.
Yeah.
Have more than
And bring
you
your
think.
computer.
And always bring your computer. Always bring your charger. Always bring your fucking adapter. Over prepare. 'Cause
Yeah.
shit happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, what are you want to talk about?
I'm just thinking about the corrupted USB thing. That's so fucking scary. I want to talk about your album.
For sure.
All right, so I feel like a long time ago you were like, I think it was after, maybe after the Wiz Khalifa song dropped, but maybe after your last EP. You said, Liz, it's time for me to start working on an album.
Yeah.
So it's been a fucking minute.
Yeah.
So are you pushing some boundaries here, or is it all about the features? Is it all about the vocalist? Is it like a concept album? Tell me.
So everything, there's no collabs. It's all gonna be me, and but there's all there's all a vocalist on it.
Sick.
And not. I want all of it to be able to. I want to play every single song at my show, but not every song is going to be, you know,
Rave ready.
a rave song.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm just gonna have to be ballsy enough to do, and I hope people are okay with that. But I like what you're saying with the quarantine thing. The album is not supposed to be just for the stage, you know. It's supposed to be for, you know, the car or whatever too, and your iPhone, your iPod or whatever. But I'm really excited about it. I've been working on it for a very long time, and I put music out throughout when I'm working on it, but those aren't my album songs. And I'm not gonna put any album songs out as singles before I put my album out. Like the first time you're gonna hear everything is gonna be on the album.
Awesome.
It's gonna be cool, but I'm pretty. It's like my first stepping into like producing a whole album, not necessarily just like making a song and putting it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm thinking about the idea, you know, the theme, making sure that the vocalist and I are working on are on the same page, and we're writing something together that I'm also feeling, rather than something that, you know, they just wrote on by themselves or something.
Yeah.
So it's cool to. It's like almost like a really cool school project. It's like a giant concept coming together for such a long time, and I've been putting together the album for like basically a year now. So it's like this year's been really fucking hard for me, not just this quarantine, but, you know, family problems and growing as a man and figuring out my own life. It's like I want to be able to reflect all that through the album.
Absolutely.
So I'm really excited for it. Yeah.
That's what I feel like every listener should want, is like to be able to like have like a piece of your life. I feel like that's where definitely hard times and all that shit amount to the best art. Like I don't fucking care. Like you can be happy as like a bee, but I feel like I've just seen my favorite stuff from my like inspirations through them going through like hard shit. It's just something about us, like we're learning, makes us grow so much more.
Yeah.
But it just sounds like your album is like a huge collaborative effort, which is like super, super dope. Because sometimes it's like with collabs you send and then they do half the song, you do half the song. There's not really a collaborative effort, but with like vocalists and stuff, it has to be pretty cool and different, because you haven't really worked with too many vocalists prior to this.
No, I've never gotten into, well, one time with my boy J-Mo, but J-Mo, let him know, look him up, he's the shit. But yeah, I've never gotten into, every single one of my features has just been like sending them the beat, they record it and they send it back, it's done. But getting into the studio with an artist who like does this shit, it was so cool to see like the amount of professionalism that these people bring to the studio. Like it's not just like you and your boy coming over and going like, you wop 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 type shit. It's like they come over and they're like, okay, what do you want to talk about? Like, what are you feeling right now? And I'm like, and we open up to each other. We share things about each other's life that, you know, we're fucking strangers. And like just talking to people like about each other and then connecting about something and then picking that something to connect on and then writing a song about it. It's really cool. It's really cool. I think a lot of people. I think music. I think that kind of collaboration should happen more because with us, like, you can take a Lizzie Jane song and you can take a Blondes and Blondes song and you can take the sounds out of it and put it in a computer and like somehow algorithmically put it together and we can call it a collab. But like, that doesn't mean shit. But if we sit down and like talk about, you know, what we're feeling about that day, we can really change somebody or, affect somebody.
Absolutely. And it's crazy because I feel like the best music comes from like a team. Like, I always feel like more minds than like one is going to do so much better because you're just taking into perspective different people's opinions.
Yep.
And I just don't understand why it is so looked down upon in our industry to have like any more besides like the really big guys. Because don't get me wrong, like, you look at the big guys' albums and you see all the writers, you see the co-producers and stuff, but it's like a sin in our like industry as like an up and comer to like have like a co-write team or have a whatever. It's like if you don't have them listed on the track, it's like a big fucking issue. And like that's how I feel as an up and comer. So I don't know if you feel the same way or if you think the same thing. I just feel like insane bodies of work could come from these like forward thinking producers if they all just sat down in a room and made something.
Yeah, like for like there has not been one. There might have been one or two, but there has not been one Blondes and Blondes song where I've not sit in a room with my boys and fucking showed them and listened to it, and then they have not been like, yo, like, change this. Yeah. There's not been one fucking song. Yeah. And I guarantee you that has been for every single artist. Yeah. You show them like, yo, we get a song done, we send it to all our boys, all our homies, and they go, yo, it's trash. And they're like, okay, what's trash about it? And they tell you what's trash about it, and you change it. Do you put all their names on that song?
No, but that's not what I'm necessarily like talking about. Like, that's like the feedback, like the constructive criticism that is so important. And like, you even see schools like Fire Society and like other things do where they have these teachers who are established, and like that's badass. Like, that's super dope. But I feel like, but it's like, what would happen if you put Odd Prophet, Bad Class, someone else in the room, and it was like, hey, we're going to take credits on this, but you're going to be the producer on that. And maybe it just doesn't exist like that because we are an EDM and it's not predominantly vocal based, even though I think it is. In my opinion, it is. For you to have anything memorable, you need vocals in there.
1000%.
And so it's like, I don't know. I just wish people would be more open to it. I don't think people are open to it, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's just education, really, because like that's how all music is. Besides electronic music, that's how every single song is. Every single song.
You've got like 20 people in a room. You have producers, you have the actual beat makers, you have vocalist, engineer, tracking, like all of that shit.
Well, every single professional song, yeah, it's like that. But like, it's just like a revision. I feel like it's just like at the end of the day, it's just like I'm trying to make the best thing that I could put in your ears. And like if fucking Too Kind, I know you know Too Kind. He fucking taught me how to produce.
Yeah,
right?
Shout out Jared.
He comes over all the time. We sit next to each other and we make music. Same with Plasma. But there's not like every single fucking Blunts and Blondes song, he's the last person that hears it before it comes out. I'm like, yo, Jared, is this good enough to fucking put out? But he'll usually be like, yeah, but because he's in the room most of the time with me, or he'll be like, yo, like, try this hi-hat or try this pattern, or like, yo, let me go into your bass real quick and let me see what I can do with it. Yeah. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. No. Yeah. Correct. At all.
Absolutely. It's just, I don't know. I feel like moving forward, I hope people are just like more open to just like pushing the scene forward and all of that shit. I don't know.
For sure. I think it's just education, really. I think it's education.
Yeah, absolutely. So when did you, I'm looking at your shirt, when did you pick up disc golf?
Okay, so I played disc golf like twice, right? When I was a little kid with my dad, and then I stopped because it was just some shit my dad wanted to like connect with me with or some shit. Never threw it again. And then COVID happened, and then my boy Tristan, who's my photographer, he was like, yo, let's go play some disc golf. And then I played it, and then I was like, yo, this is fucking it right here.
Because I'm into golf, but you're into disc golf. So, like, I know it's like a Frisbee, right? But you hit targets?
It's a basket with chains. You throw it into a basket with chains. Yeah. I played golf my whole life.
It's kind of difficult.
And golf is amazing. It teaches you patience. You know, there's so many little fucking tiny things that I like to, you know, golf is the best thing that's ever happened to me. But comparing it to disc golf, it's like, you know, you can spend a month or, you know, 2 at the range going every now and then at the, you know, every now and then a week trying to fix your slice.
Yeah.
Right? You can fix your fucking, you can fix your problem in disc golf or whatever you're trying to work on. You're obviously not going to be great at first, but it's just the progression is so much faster than golf, and it feels so good. And you don't really have to be that athletic to do it.
Yeah.
I stopped working out a long time ago. I worked out really hard. I was, you know, out there fucking doing lines of pre-workout, man, really doing that shit out here. But I was not getting big, and all my boys were. I was still tubby. My muscles were not. I was lifting more, but my arms looked the same. And it was dumb. I was like, this is not worth it. But disc golf, I don't need that. I don't need that at all. I can pick up a Frisbee and throw it, and I feel good about it. And everybody should try it.
Fuck yeah. That's awesome. Because I was just thinking about, like, life, work, balance. And I picked up golf over quarantine because I was going fucking crazy.
It's an expensive thing to pick up.
Let me tell you, I understand it now. Like, I understand back end. I never in my life would find myself on a golf course, but you're right.
Yeah.
It teaches you patience.
For sure.
You really think, like, you catch yourself thinking in your head, like, all of this stuff. So it's a good, like, okay, I gotta get outside. I gotta fucking do this, because so many of us literally could live inside for our whole life and never walk outside.
Yeah, I got that farmer stand hard.
Yep. Yeah, I feel you. I went golfing today, and it's getting fucking hot. It is no longer spring, sunny Florida.
It's
It
good,
is getting
though.
hot.
It's what we need.
Yeah?
I love it.
Ugh.
I love waking up and just sweating.
Ew. It's so disgusting.
Feels
the
good.
humidity is like no fucking joke.
We don't work out. We need that.
I work out. You don't work out. I work out. You don't work out.
I thought everybody from Florida doesn't work out, but
No, people work out, Michael.
it's a waste of time, guys. Just eat healthy. Not even that much.
Eat healthy.
Just eat a couple
Work
salads.
out.
You'll find.
No. We're looking at the camera. We're talking to the...
Because it's true.
I know. Ugh. No, I feel you. It's just a good way to, like, get out there. That's what... I was at, abduction over the weekend before you can knock the camera
F.
off.
F in the chat for abduction.
F in the chat, yeah. But I have to say, they did the right thing, dude.
What happened?
Like, okay.
I heard that a traffic sign hit an old lady.
Oh boy, I think that's down the grapevine. I don't even fucking know though.
Okay.
I heard that it was like when the storm was coming through, because this was the storm that delayed the Masters all day on Saturday. And it came all the way down the fucking state of Florida, and I guess it wasn't supposed to hit until Sunday. But on Saturday, it just bodied Orlando for like 30 minutes, and it was wind gusts of like 55 miles an hour. And it took one of the gates up, and I think one of the gates flew, and a fire marshal saw it, and then they showed up, and they said, you can no longer have this event, even though it was only there for a half an hour. But with Insomniacs moving down here, what I was going to say is they're going to have to get used to our weather, because they don't understand. California weather is very fucking different. Like,
Yep.
I don't know.
I was just out there, and I don't like it.
No?
No.
You just played the park and rave, right?
Oh no, I like the park and rave was lit.
No, I know. But
The
I was saying
California,
that's why you were there.
the California weather, not cool.
Why? California is beautiful.
Nah,
Agree to disagree. That's okay.
no, dude. Like,
Why? Reasoning. What has happened to it?
it's
I
just
haven't-
cloudy.
Well,
It's just like-
that's the pollution.
It's weird. I felt like I was having an asthma attack, on the verge of an asthma attack the whole time.
So, from your experience, tell me from your experience what LA looked like. I need like a...
Looks like a city. You ever been to LA?
No, I know, but I'm saying I've heard about like the homeless issues. I've heard just like it's a mess. Everything's still closed.
It's a
Is
real
this
big
not
mess.
true?
It's a real big mess. Everything is not closed, but there's like 30% of it open maybe.
It
And
doesn't look like Florida. We can say that much.
for sure, no.
Yeah.
We open.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's closed out there, but like they're a lot more strict about everything out there. But the homeless is really bad. And
Yeah,
I felt
that's what I
bad
was
for I
curious
felt
about.
bad about that. There was like there was homeless everywhere. There was like not even like Skid Row is there obviously, but like they weren't even on the side of the sidewalk. They were like in the middle of the sidewalk, and they just like me and Baldy, we were like out, he was skating someplace, and I was trying to fucking. I hope your foot's okay, but.
Oh shit.
It was bad, but like we were walking, and there's just I felt terrible. There's just homeless people that we had to like walk up and check if they're like breathing a little bit. It was weird. And like down here in Florida, we got homeless people, but
it's not like that.
It ain't like that.
And they have nowhere to put them either. They have nowhere to put them. And
yeah.
It's like
there's so many people there.
There's so many people. I think there's 41 million in LA County. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about that though. I'm not a city planner.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
But I hope they can do something.
Blonde's the city planner.
Vote for me, please.
I'd vote.
No, you wouldn't. You shouldn't.
Okay.
If I ran, no, I'd be a terrible politician.
But it must be nice that they have like recreational weed.
Oh, that's cool, but I mean, we ain't buying the rec weed anyways.
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
No.
No, we still trapping out there. That shit is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, way better. Buy it from a drug dealer. The stores are stupid. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty crazy the transformation marijuana has made from even like 5-6 years ago to now.
For sure. I think it's going to take a long time still to even like in Florida, in our state. Like,
yeah.
I don't think it's going to be rec for a very, very long time.
I would agree with you there. I would definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even though everyone thinks like Florida's the butthole of America right now, I would like to say that we're operating at a pretty good rate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've been happy to most extent how this shit has been handled. They've just given people the choice, which...
You told me you weren't getting into politics
I'm not. I'm saying they've given you the choice. They've given you the choice to live your life.
For sure, yeah.
You know?
I think it's very important for people to have a choice. That's the most important thing.
I also think the mask works, and everybody should fucking be wearing them if they haven't gotten tested to be in a room with each other, you know? So it's like, I agree with that too. Mm-hmm. But what I was jumping to, government-wise, is from weed to your name. Because I need to ask you this. I remember when I saw you when I was 18 years old, and you were playing in Orpheum.
With Nightmare.
With Nightmare after an SMF party. You were still very young. And I said, this guy's so good, but I hate his name. I was like, I don't know what the deal is with the name. And then the name just grew on people, and it grew on people, and it grew on people. So I know that Alex, your manager, didn't want you to have this fucking name when you brought it to him. So tell me why you're Blunts and Blondes and why Alex didn't want you to have it, because I would love to know that story.
I had a girlfriend a long time ago, and she was blonde.
But you like brunettes.
Yeah. She was blonde, and so I was smoking blunts, and I needed a name at the time, and the only other name, I never said this to nobody because it's really embarrassing, but it was Nightshade.
I fuck with that.
I don't.
Okay.
And my friends were like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. So
oh boy.
I was just rocking with nothing for a while, just playing parties or whatever, just give me my $200 or whatever. And I was on the porch one time in summer, and I was like, I was smoking a blunt. I was trying to think of a name. I was like, yo, Blunts and Blondes. And it was such a cool moment because I was like, oh my God, that's it. It worked. And I called all my boys. I was like, yo, Blunts and Blondes. They were like, nah. I was like, nah, that's it, dog. And then Taylor, my roommate, I was like, yo, make me a Blunts and Blondes logo, please. He was like, for sure. And he made it. And that was my first logo for a while. And that's what I was rocking with for a minute. And then Alex picked me up when I started working at AMP. Like, you know, I was resident AMP, and then Alex picked me up. He was like, yo, I want to be a manager. I want to try this out with you. How do you feel about that? And I was like, I feel great about it. Whatever. That sounds awesome. And that's how me and Alex
is a hustler.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's my dog, my brother. But, he was like, the Blunts and Blondes thing is going to be kind of hard because, like, nobody wants to put Blunts and Blondes on a flyer.
I can hear him saying it right now in my mind.
Because, like, he was just thinking, he's a business guy, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, well, we got to figure something out because, like, that's it. I don't know. I'm not confident at all. But that was just, it made sense to me because I was like, this rolls off the tongue way too well.
No, it does.
It was like Charmin Ultra. Like, come on, blunts and blonde. It's the best
I
thing.
got it. Okay. I got you.
It's jingly.
No, well, it's catchy. I had to say, and I always said this too. This was like when I was literally a fucking raver, and I didn't even like raving that much. I just went because I was like,
Raving is dope.
Raving.
I like raving.
Raving is cool, and
Raving is cool.
I was like, you know what? I don't like his name, but I can't forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's almost annoying, but it's like dope. Cause I'm pretty sure. I think I'm self-aware. Pretty sure. And I think like 30% of my like people who know my name fucking are annoyed the shit out of me because I'm just like, you open up Twitter, you open up Instagram, boom, Blunts and Blondes is just somewhere on your timeline somewhere.
Well, you go A, B. You're always gonna be kind of
I love
towards
it.
the front.
I love it.
Yeah.
But like, it's just something you have to do to like,
No, for sure.
Get people talking.
Well, and it's just like I talk about now, and I think certain people have resentment for it, and I totally understand it, but it's so important. Even it, like, fuck this industry, just in general. I can't look at a very successful artist and not see a brand or an inner kind of motive attached to their project. Like, I can't. I don't know, maybe besides a few huge pop singers. And I just feel like it is important to keep the music first, but also realize that you have to have other ways to connect with your listeners.
Yep.
People want you to be more than just somebody they're listening to. They want to see you. They want to know your personality. They want to be able to say, okay, like, he's totally into this. Nah, he wasn't like that. And I think the more that you can connect with people on a relatable level, the more they're just going to fuck with you. Like, the more transparent you are. I just feel like the bullshit of, like, painting this perfect life and all this shit, especially on the other side of COVID, people don't want to see that shit. They want to see people be real and, like, speak their, like, truth and opinions. I don't know.
Speak your truth.
Speak your truth. Sounds like some energy shit. Dude, I've been having this girl talk to me about crystals and rocks lately. That shit's wild.
Yeah, that shit is wild.
I think people just have too much time on their hands. But I don't know, maybe I do too. I'm sitting here doing
What, with crystals and rocks?
Talking
I have a friend of mine. His name's Luke Humphreys. I met him through disc golf. And he doesn't really talk to me about like the spiritual part of it. Mm-hmm. But he's an excavator.
Okay.
Like he when he's on the tour, when he's on the disc golf tour, he'll stop at like random spots and go try to find really cool rocks. And he showed me some cool stuff.
That's cool.
But like, I'm not necessarily gonna think they're gonna change my life. A couple of my friends, Eric Squanto, yeah, he thinks that he's a big believer in the rocks. I don't know what do you call it? What do you call the rock? Like, what do you call that kind of science?
They're like chakras. They're like...
No, that's like what you have in you. But like the what do you call that kind of pseudoscience? I forget what it's called.
I have no idea. But yeah, he believes in a lot of shit.
For sure, yeah.
I just say, everybody should be able to, I guess, speak their own opinion. I guess that's why we have Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Just don't hurt nobody.
I think, yeah, and I think that we could use just a little bit more compassion. I think. Just a little bit.
No,
we're okay as we are. All right. I'm just happy for shit to start opening up so people can get off their platforms of social media and go
social media is terrible.
Yeah, go into the real world. It'll be nice.
Take a walk.
I don't think our breed is designed to be not around other human beings. I don't think our breed is designed not engage in human interaction and human touch.
Go have some friends. That's what disc golf's been for me too. Also, introducing competition again in my life was crazy. Because like playing disc golf was cool, but then I started taking it seriously and then like playing in tournaments and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I haven't had that feeling in so long.
That's awesome.
Like it was like just old like high school sports, like feeling like intense and competing with somebody. I think competition is pretty good to like introduce back in your life.
So, when you say competition, did you ever feel like you were in a competition at one point on your journey?
Yeah, I still do, and that's what hindered me a lot. That's what still to this day. Like, I guess if we're being open about it, like Jesse, like going on tour with Subtronics, I looked at him and I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to make just as much music as him. I wanted to be the same amount of hype as him. I wanted to, everything that he did. I was on the bus with him, so every single phone call that he got, that he was like, "Yo, I got this feature. Yo, I got this collab." And I was like, I was sitting right next to him when he got the Excision collab, and I was like, half of me was like, "Yo, my boy just got a fucking Excision collab," and the other half of me, which I regret to this day, and I know this is the wrong way to think, but it's like, when am I gonna get my Excision collab?
Yeah.
And
no, that's just human thinking. That's just the way the brain works.
I mean, it sucked because it made me I had to work a lot because it made me resent him for a little bit, and I had to talk to him about it, and we talked about it, and I'm glad we talked through it because it helped me grow, and it hurt me to look back, and I was like, I looked bad upon a friend because I wasn't performing. You know, it wasn't my time, and I could have congratulated him more. I could have given him more shine if I would have just put my ego away and like just been happy for him more, you know? And that to this day is just one of my biggest regrets.
I feel like communication is like key in this industry, like period. Like, cause I think we don't naturally have that kind of, some people do have the sense of competition just in their life. They're just competitive ass people. And I think this industry and the people who predominantly run the industry have created this thing where, like, inside of us, it's like, here's our market, and here's our competitors, and here's the people that you're going to be grouped against.
Yeah.
And so, in turn, you feel that sense of competition, and you have to beat someone else instead of saying, hey, there's room for everybody. Like,
which there is.
You know, and there is, and it's like the sooner that you can try and, like, battle your mind out of thinking that way, all the homies are gonna succeed. Like, if you're putting in the work, as long as you don't fucking quit, and you're adaptive to changes and the way that, you know, everything moves forward, and you're not like, okay, this doesn't fucking work, I need to try something else, you will eventually make it. You will eventually reach your goals, I think, in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, for sure.
Most people just give up, they quit, or they don't listen to people who are, you know, experienced and have an expertise in a certain area.
That's like the law of attraction. I hated when people talked about that shit. I hated that shit because I was like, that's a fucking cop out. You're gonna make people. No, you don't just think about something and shit can happen. But what you do is, like, every day you work, right? And then the next week you buy a keyboard, and then the next week you buy a guitar, and then the next month you buy your interface, right?
Yeah.
And then the next week you buy a desk, and then the next, you know, and then 2 years later your room looks like a fucking studio. And that's how it happens. You put in the work every day and you work towards it. You don't just think really hard and poof, wake up and that shit happens. No, that shit, I hate when that. I just wish people looked into things more. And tried to look into why these things are happening and what work can I put towards something to get the result I want. You could think about the result all the time, and that is important to have a goal in mind. But like, you also need to think about those little small goals that's going to get you to that end goal.
Absolutely. And it's just kind of like, I think a lot of people see artists, quote unquote, come out of nowhere sometimes.
That never happens.
And it never happens.
Yeah.
And people don't, and even aspiring artists, like up and comers, until they really see it, they don't get it. They're like, oh, I can just do this. And they don't understand that, one, every career has a shelf life. Every career will end eventually. Unfortunately, we work careers that are shorter than others.
Especially EDM artists. And two, it's like, you just have to be adaptive to everything, like, going on and seeing the work that people put in, because it's not a quick break, and it is like a really fucking long ass road, and especially if you want to make a career out of it. It's a long ass road for the. I feel like the journey is a lot longer. Than the end game, but like, I also feel like people. I've talked to people who are like, yo, like you did it. You know, like my friends say, like, yo, you're on Hard Summer, you're on the lineups with these people, you did it, man. I'm like, no, I didn't, bro. I'm nowhere near this shit. But I feel like that's with every artist. You need to, and it's something I'm learning how to do now, is to, like, try to acknowledge my small successes. But realize that the journey is so much more cooler and dope if you realize that you're on a journey. You know what I mean?
You can't focus so much on like what you want next that you're skipping over where you are now.
For sure.
But the facet of like re-innovation and like you having the same name or even taking another name and re-innovating your sound and re-innovating X, Y, and Z, that's how you put on years to your career shelf life. Like that's just how you do it, because I feel like you can only go on for so long. I even look at people like Zed's Dead. Oh my God, think about how many multifaceted genre albums they've done and all of the new projects they've taken on, and even like this new kind of like lo-fi down-tempo shit they're doing. That's a way that they're reinventing themselves and like sustaining their leverage and sustaining their career life. And it's like that's what's needed in order to stick around, in my opinion, more than 5 or 6 years.
It's just to be creative, really.
Yeah.
It's just like, and also pushing boundaries, like you said. A lot of what we do is like, I think Zed's Dead is able to do that because they're aware of who they are as an artist and what they want to do. A lot of, I'm still, I feel like, trying to figure out who I like. I can't put out a body of art that feels complete until I feel complete. You know what I mean? And I really don't feel complete. So I feel like
Why don't you feel complete?
a lot of reasons.
Okay.
But the music part, like with Zed's Dead, I feel like you can hear Zed's song and know it's a Zed's Dead song without knowing it's them.
Absolutely.
And I necessarily don't have that yet. So, but I think that's a reflection of my life too. It's like I don't know who I am, so my music can't really be.
I think you undercut yourself a little bit there.
I'm sure.
By saying.
I'm sure, but I think that's a lot of the struggle that artists like us have. Is like.
You're chasing something that's never ending.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, I absolutely agree, and I'm sure almost all artists can resonate in some way, shape, or form. And it's just important to like keep pushing to get there, because I feel like this kind of lifestyle is not necessarily great for your mental and physical being. Even though it's amazing to do what we love, it does become very hard at times. And it's continuous self-doubt, even at levels such as yourself, correct?
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. I heard of this thing called imposter syndrome, and it's like the engineer told me that I had imposter syndrome this week in my in California. He was like, "You have that." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "You're playing all these beats, like for these rappers and these artists, and you're like skipping through them really fast because you think none of them are good, and all of them are fine, all of them are good." But he's like, "You have this thing called imposter syndrome that is very, very common in artists, that you don't think that you belong where you belong. You don't think you deserve it. You don't think you earned it. And until you somehow break that, you will never think that your music or anything that you do is good enough or deserving of the room that you want to be in."
Yeah.
The room.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think exactly what that engineer said, a lot of artists have that.
Yeah.
And most of my friends have that. I have that. You have that.
Yeah.
And it's something where I feel like at one point in the journey, you say, okay, I'm here, or you just have to force yourself to be content. You have to at one point step back and say, all right, this is a big deal. This is,
There's some moments where I definitely hit where I was like, yo, like what the fuck? Like when
like EDC Orlando.
Yeah, like that moment.
Yeah.
That was fucking so awesome.
And it's crazy because first, I'm so excited that Insomniacs is invading Florida. That's going to be so fucking dope.
Yeah.
And second, it's like that was your first EDC Orlando on the Bass Rush stage. And
Yeah.
and how did you feel when Alex was like, "Yo, you have this offer." Like, "Yo, like you're going to play EDC Orlando. You're going to play at this time. You're going to play at Sunset."
I was playing a lot of festivals at the time.
Yeah.
And it was like cool. Like, it was like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got there, I was like, yo, like when the week before EDC happened, and I was just talking to everybody, and they're like, yo, we're coming down. My phone was just flooding over, and I just was like, this is gonna be cool. The homies are there. And then I looked at the lineup, and I was like, I'm the only bass music playing in the whole festival for like 2 hours. And then I got to the stage and I was like, this isn't a side stage. This is a fucking huge ass stage. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then it hit me like kind of after I got off the stage, and people were like my roommate was like tearing up.
Oh.
And it was like,
I remember seeing Mike and Jared and everyone was tearing up. It was just like a big fucking moment.
it was great. It felt so good. It was just like, it felt so organic. It felt like I'm the poster boy for Florida.
Yeah.
And it felt so Florida. It felt like I put on for these people, and they put on for me, and I felt good for it.
Well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I feel like that started at Ritz.
Yeah.
It started at people, and trust me, it's like you and I can relate in the statements that being a resident is a bitch sometimes.
For sure.
It's hard. It's like not well paying. It's X, Y, and Z, but the amount of doors being in that club has opened, and the amount of I've always said a bass fan will spend their last dollar on you. Will spend their last dollar to support you. And it's like seeing the group of kids at that venue grow with you, move from Amp to Ritz, and then you kind of go on out the door to bigger and better things. That just must have been crazy. And it's like, do you think it's different now than it was then?
Like what's different?
Like just the vibe in general, because the club has grown.
Oh, the vibe at the Ritz?
Like they didn't used to have these huge headliners every weekend. You would headline a lot of the week Fridays, you know?
Yeah.
It was an actual club night that became so much more. And that's why I even talked to my agents, and they're like, Tampa's the biggest bass scene in Florida.
It is. And I think that a lot of people helped make it that, you know? And the biggest problem, the big playing at the Ritz and being the headliner at the Ritz for a while and not having an artist come in and me like being the artist gave me a huge false ego boost that fucked me up for a long time. I was like, yo, I'm this shit. Period. Like nobody can tell me nothing. I can do whatever I want. I'm the shit. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't nothing. I wasn't making any music. I was barely making anything, you know. I was, doing shitty in school. And wasn't being cool to my friends. You know, just being a dick. Mm-hmm. But obviously that changed, throughout time. And I've learned a lot of lessons throughout, my friends have taught me a lot of lessons. And, growing up and touring and experiencing problems and, shit has taught me a lot of lessons. But that is the only thing that was bad about the Ritz. Everything else was so positive for me, and it helped me learn how to be a DJ. It helped me learn how to perform in front of a lot of different types of people. It helped me learn how to be a showman. I was terrible on the microphone. My voice cracked every single time, and I would try to leave it alone. And then there got to a point where Alex told me, he was like, yo, shut up. Like, you cannot talk every song. And I was like, but I sound so fucking lit. What are you talking about? And then, throughout playing just every week and having those, like, practice runs, really, mm-hmm. I feel like that shaped my shows now. And I feel like I can throw a professional show now because I went through all that, through that grind.
It makes you a seasoned performer.
Sure.
I can definitely relate to all of the following things. I don't think I would be able to walk in certain clubs and feel like I could own it if I didn't have a residency at Ritz.
Yeah, for sure.
But that also, I feel like, has given... I want to talk about this because you can attest to this, because everyone looks at you and they go, Ritz had Blunts and Blondes, and then Blunts and Blondes made it. And I see these aspiring producers and kids from this area and kids from all over Florida go, well, I want to be at the Ritz because the Ritz is going to make me Blunts and Blondes. So
I've never heard that.
I hear it all the time because no one's going to tell you your fucking face. And and they have to understand that there's so much more behind that. That there's so much more than to having a residency. While the residency did you amazing, there's so much more that went behind you leaving Ritz and doing well.
It did amazing for me learning how to like what I just said.
Yeah,
Like learn
yeah,
how,
absolutely.
like training. But me becoming a successful EDM artist, all came from my team, and all came from marketing, and
There we
all
go.
came from, being creative on how I get my name in front of people, playing a whole and if you are an artist that pops off a song, and like Excision plays your song, and you get lit, and you go play some support acts, and you play some cool shows, good for you. But if I take that artist and I put them in a club by themselves, they're not going to sell tickets.
Nope.
And if you want to be able to be a sustainable artist in the EDM industry, the most important thing you need to do is to be able to sell tickets so you can make money to keep on going and make money for other promoters, so people will continue to book you so you can continue to play more shows. That's just how it works. But how my team, the strategy behind, I don't know if they're gonna be upset with me saying this, but whatever. They put me in very, very small rooms. A lot of small rooms, like 200 cap, 150 cap, everywhere.
Yep.
In America, everywhere. I was sleeping in motels. I was sleeping on couches for like 2.5 years. And then I would play the same rooms with the same promoters every single year, like 2 or 3 times, just in a row. And it'd be those plane trips where I wasn't on tour. It was just one of those off shows where
Yeah.
boom. And then eventually, when I was like putting out music and making these people money and stuff, I would sell out these shows the second time around because they were small rooms. And if I sell out those shows, they'd be like, okay, let's move them to the bigger cap room in the city. And then I would do that for the next year. I'd sell out those bigger caps, those 500 caps. And then like, okay, he could sell out the 500 caps. Let's move him to 1,000 caps. And then the next year I'm in the 1,000 caps. And it's like, you need to put in the work that nobody is ever going to see or care about. And it sucks to hear that, but like, I played 4 or 5 years of shows that were not they were just like restaurants, rhythm rooms, some fucking like bullshit, not the Ritz.
Yeah.
And this is all while I was playing the Ritz every Friday. So it was like, I went from the Ritz playing to like these lit shows, and to go and playing like 50 room caps where they were still serving dinner on the other side.
Yep.
And that being able to show proof of purchase, like being able to sell tickets, was
huge.
Was able to give me the ability to go on tour and stuff.
And that's the only way too. And I think having a balance of both, where your support acts as well as headlining, is important. But the headline acts that I see some people never do are what differentiates that difference between the people who can sell tickets and they're going to be able to at least accommodate X people, X tickets, and then we can bring the support on underneath them. We don't have to worry because we're dependent on him. And there's fewer of you than most people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it's it's a smart strategy. It's not, it's not anything crazy.
It's not a secret strategy, but just nobody wants to do it.
Exactly.
And it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's not just a lot of work from me. It's a lot of work from like
Everyone.
my team, Alex and Eric and Max. Like even before Max was in it, like it was just Eric and Alex putting together these shows, Grave Dancer and shit like that. It was a lot of shows that, we showed up and they didn't even have alcohol licenses, bro. And like it was just so much, and they're bad shows. I'm not gonna sit here and be all happy the whole time.
Oh my god. No, can you? I just can't even This is the thing that I feel like nobody talks about is you sometimes see these artists thrown on for support on these huge tours, and then they can't sell a room of 100 people, and it's not fun to start there, but you have to start there if you're going to go anywhere else, because you can get stuck in that support realm for so long.
Yeah.
And
there's some people who are obviously there, and they struggle with it.
Yeah.
And we're not going to say names, but just look. Just look at all the support acts that have been support acts. And it's good, just look how hard it is for them to get out of it, and they've been trying really hard, and they're genuine people who are probably a lot more talented than the people they're supporting.
Yeah.
But they played their cards wrong.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
And that's why I feel like you have to be long-term oriented to want to do this for more than 3 or 4 years. If you want to knock it up, go fucking play for 3 or 4 years. Do it as a fucking fun shit. Get on whatever agency, get put as support. That's fine, but I feel like starting by doing what you're doing, where Alex was building you bricks of stone to where the point where you weren't going to fall backwards. It wasn't going to be like, oh, they're on tour with Excision. Why can't they sell this 100 cap room? Why? Explain that to me. And it's like, it is the work that nobody sees. And people don't understand that it's like, there are more amazing but shitty, illegitimate venues than the Ritzes, than the Vanguards in this whole entire country. And you have to accommodate to every one of them. And just because you're going to do phenomenal in Florida doesn't mean you're going to do shit in Minneapolis. Doesn't mean you're going to do shit in Colorado.
You got to grow, just think about, the work you put in to grow from a local to, a pop-in local in your scene. Just think about putting that work in every single city.
What?
And it's obviously it grows exponentially as you grow in hype and popularity, but you're not just going to go to a new city and sell it out, dude. You're not Chris Brown.
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
It's fucking crazy. It's a long road. It's a long road.
Yeah.
When was the point where you were like, all right, I'm out of the shithole?
What do you mean? What's the shithole?
I'm out of this
When I went on tour with Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah. That changed my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bus tours are different.
Yeah, he changed my life. I'm straight up.
You excited to go back on tour eventually? Probably next year?
Yeah, I'm trying to tour off the album, so hopefully we can get the album out by the beginning of next year, but if it's not done, it's not done.
Is it going to be on Deadbeats?
I don't know.
I don't know. All right. So tell me about Deadbeats. Tell me about how I fucking love them. I think Harrison's the shit. I think they're one of my favorite labels in electronic dance music. How did this come about?
Fuck.
It's been a minute. You've been with them for a minute.
Yeah. Lift You Up. Really? We've just been fuck. It was, I Lift You Up kind of just popped me off.
Yeah.
And then Alex and Harrison became friends. And then I just started sending him stuff. And then the way that we worked kind of impressed Harrison.
Okay.
And then we kind of just did whatever he needed us to do.
Yep.
And then that building a relationship with Harrison, who's the label director there, and then that helped me out a lot. And then being able to play shows, and I'm a good performer. I play good shows, and going out to a show and you get invited, and then showing out, and then having people like you and shit, they're gonna invite you back for another support set, and then that's just it has grown from there. Then I met the boys, and we became homies, and it's had history since.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, they seem to be a very good home to be a part of.
Yeah, for sure. They help me out a lot. They facilitate. They make sure I have what I need when I when I'm releasing, and they make sure everything's handled the right way. They make sure I'm on time because I'm a lazy motherfucker, and
I'm a procrastinator.
Yeah, same.
I have a hard time finishing things.
I actually owe them a track that I was supposed to send them a week ago, and then I was supposed to send it again before I left for here, and now we're here.
They still don't have it.
Yeah.
That's all right.
But it's cool. It's gonna be cool. That's
sick.
That song is actually the first little
That's huge.
It's the peak on what the album's kind of gonna be like.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge. I mean, they had to be somewhat inspirations when you were coming up.
For sure. Yeah, Zed is insane. Really the only artist that I think that I remember. There are so many artists, obviously, that I loved Raven. I loved Raven too when I was growing up Raven and stuff. But Zed's Dead and RL Grime. But
RL.
Zed's Dead. I really respect the way that RL Grime and Zed's Dead they carry themselves on stage. They just are so dope.
Yeah.
And you just no matter who you are, you're just that guy has some steez.
Yeah, no.
Shit.
I did not like EDM and raving in clubs until I saw R.L. Grimes' Nova tour when I was like 20 or some shit, and I was like, yeah, this is it. This is the kind of stuff I like, and ever since then, it's just, especially seeing him roll out a label, has been really amazing to watch. For as long as I can remember, Zed's Dead has had Deadbeats, so that's been a fucking minute.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Sable Valley is gonna hold like a place of its own in the industry.
He had a label before Sable Valley.
He did.
Yeah, it was called We Did It.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
We Did It Records. That's
Very
the first. That's the
interesting.
only DJ tattoo I have. It's just.
Oh shit!
And so We Did It Records tattoo.
No way. Was that trap music too? I assume.
Yeah, it's like him and Shlomo, and a couple other people, and but yeah, it's like just forward thinking trap music.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he does now in Sable Valley.
A little bit different than Sable Valley. It's
Yeah.
more hip hop. It's more hip hop driven.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like beats and shit. But like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing, so he was DJ Clockwork.
Yep.
And then he was all grind for a while, and then he made We Did It Records with his boys out in Cali, and then then Sable Valley came up, and then so I don't think he does too much of We Did It now, but Sable Valley's pretty lit.
Yeah.
It's more ravey though.
Definitely more ravey. Definitely more targeted towards like electronic dance music fans. Do you ever see yourself in the future starting a label?
Yeah, Blunt Records.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting Blunt Records soon.
Blunt Records.
Mhm.
I love it.
Very soon.
Gonna be all genres. Gonna be hip hop.
It's like I have a very, not specific, but I have a good direction of where I want it to go, and I definitely want to be the number one on hands-on, like with what's being
Sick.
released through that. And
A&R, all that shit.
for sure, and I think that now even more the genres and stuff are being melded to where I can put out. There's enough artists right now that I think that I can talk to and put together a good body of work so we could put out a good record label.
Absolutely. Oh my god, yeah. There's just so much like slept on talent still.
Yeah, and I think record labels are very. I want it to be a record label, obviously, but like the EDM record labels are, glorified repost chains.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that. And I have to figure out how to not be that.
Yeah.
And basically not. And I think SoundCloud is a problem. And I also think the people don't want to pay for music anymore.
Nope.
So that also sucks.
Lost art.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is another thing. But I think the way that we can do it is through creative content. Just like putting out not just music, but
Blunt's
putting out
NFT. $3 million.
buy precious metals and stock. Do not listen to these internet people.
Absolutely. Blunt's Records, NFT. No,
Yeah.
but just like a bunch of cool content. It would be cool to do like vlogs.
I'm ashing all over myself.
I know, it's a mess.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. That's so exciting though.
But
Album,
I think
label?
one of the I hope nobody else does this, but like I think the fucking the thing that's gonna set us apart. One of the things that's gonna set us apart is I want it to be a not necessarily like tabloid or drama filled, but I definitely want to make a magazine that you can hold in your hand.
Yeah.
And like I want to make a record magazine. So just
That's fucking dope.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think Blunt Records could do that too.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my god, you could do so much stuff, especially with that name. But it'll be really, really sick. I want to let you know that I greatly appreciate you coming on today.
For sure. Thank you
We've
so
known
much.
each other. You are my first person that I ever knew on the back end of the industry.
You're my dog,
Besides
Lizzie.
you and Alex. Ritz is my home. I will greatly appreciate them for forever and always. And it's nice to see that there's so many dope up-and-coming artists, successful artists out of this area. And, to the moon. There's a lot of stuff to be done. And it'll be very interesting to see where you're a year from now. And we'll have to do another one down the road.
For sure. I
For
appreciate
sure.
you having me out.
Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you so much for coming on.